I just randomly took out a pile of pens, a drawer of pens with miscellaneous debris in it. Wish my eyes worked. They just don't function. EHCO, Eggins Handler Company. Oh, random. Hello, Kesh. So I'll put these away because I don't need to look at these anymore. They're only going to depress me. The golden rule. I'll be right back, Kesh. Here we go. So, Kesh, what can I do for you today? You'd like to join me and chat live? Will I play with some Watermans? Oh, Warner Movie Studios? You're on your way to movie stardom? Oh, okay. Great. Did you sign a contract? Did they give you good terms? Soon. Well, that's great. Congratulations, mister. You deserve all the good luck that you deserve. Look at that lovely nib. That's a keeper. Well, you do deserve a lot, mister. You're very talented, very handsome, very, very. Oh, good. It'd be fun to have you come to the completely opposite side of the world, complete opposite side of the planet. Look at Kim. MH. MMH. It's a neat monogram. Two M's and an H all put together. I'm just looking through a pile of Watermans here to decide what are duplicates in my life. These are the pens that I don't need 8 copies of each. Well, I've missed doing them, and I know at some point they're going to ask me to pay money, and then I'll decide whether I want to do that again or not. Just send them to you. I wish I could. I wish it was easy to send things across the Atlantic. It just isn't. Last time I did it, I was on tenterhooks for months because they didn't show up, and they made it to England but didn't make it across to Holland. And I thought I'd end up. I have no idea, Kesh. I have no clue. I suppose you'd want to go by car, even though that's a long way to go. But that way you get to see more than you see. And how you would go by whether you'd rent a car or hitchhike with someone or go with someone, I don't know. Oh, I might have some eyedroppers, but that's not the drawer I'm looking at right now. Well, I think that going by car is the right way to do it. But again, how you find what car and how to get there is something I don't know. Kind of have a lot of pens that have cracked pieces, like that one. Hey, Tasha. Long time no see. Well, in your case, I wouldn't go to Hawaii or Alaska just because that's adding a lot more miles than you need. I think you could, start in New York or Boston and go west on the north. You'll go through lots of states. go New York, something, Chicago, Minneapolis maybe, and then maybe go south to um, Colorado, Denver, Colorado, and then over to California. Uh, and then on the way back, go take the southern route and go through some of the, 10. 10 is an easier number to go to, but harder to choose because if you want to go by car and one of your states is California and one of them is New York, you're going to go through 10 just getting from one to the other. So again, it's hello, Ms. Marilyn. But what you could do certainly is go to. I haven't been to a lot of places in my life, so I'm not maybe the right person to ask. But if you were to look under the interweb and 10 spots in the continental United States, you can start there, pick the ones that they might recommend, and then move out from there. Well, it's like old home week. We're all here. All the regular subjects. Kesh and Ms. Darling and Will. Let's take some pretty ones out. Okay, ask people in the chat. So Kesh wants to come to the USA. What cities should he see? I think saying cities might be better than states. Canada, just go to Canada. Yeah. God, I love these pens. These 412s. Hollywood. Well, he might like Hollywood, being in their entertainment business. To see how glitz and glamour works in the United States. Las Vegas, I've never been there. Certainly New York and Boston. I would love to go to New Orleans. I'm not sure I'm a Texas. I've been down to Texas. I've been to San Antonio and Austin a couple of times, but I don't know if that would be something I would necessarily go suggest. But that's just me. So let's just we'll make a list for Kesh right here. We'll do, he's going to see me, so he's going to come to Boston. I'm going to draw the United States, kind of. So here's Boston, New York. Okay. No, I hate this. Chicago is a must, I think. Minneapolis is lovely, but and it's on its way, and you can stay with my brother if I'm not there. Chicago, Minneapolis. Then I would go down to Colorado somewhere, and then maybe go across to San Fran. And then you can go up to Hollywood. Yeah, St. Louis, I've never been there, but St. Louis is good. So again, if you drive or take the train or bus or whatever northernly, and then on the way down you go back this way, and you can go to Houston or uh, New Orleans, go to Washington D.C., and you can do that sort of route. There you
Oh,
are.
hello. Long time.
Long time. Look at you in your green shirt.
Green is my lucky color.
Making your eyes look all the more seductive and dark. And like, so what, when would you make this trip?
I don't know. It could be this year. It could be next year. Who knows? But I am definitely manifesting this trip now.
Okay. Well, the United States is quite big, and you might decide maybe just do an East Coast thing, and then come back another time and do a West Coast thing. I mean, if you have 3 months on vacation, you can do the whole thing.
It's going to take 3 months.
Well, no, it doesn't have to. It'll take, it took me 3 days to go from here to here. And that was driving all day long and staying at a friend's house each night. So that was 3 days or 4 days actually of driving 10 hours a day. So, and that's, if you wanted to stop and spend a couple of hours looking at a city, then that's going to take you a week just to go from there to there. So it depends on how you want to travel.
Right. Miss Marilyn is saying she would avoid coming to US because the next 4 years.
Well, if the president has his way, I'm sure he's going to remain president for the rest of his life, and even then some. They'll keep him propped up somehow.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, who knows? He's there for another term after that. So, that means I shouldn't come there for 8 years.
I don't know. No, you should come when you want to. Just, you're if you come with all of your papers and stuff, they're not going to kick you out. You'd be here
Yeah.
legal. But again, the country is big, and if you want to see cities in the countryside, you don't want to just go from one hotel to the other the next day. You want to spend a couple of days somewhere, and you can stay here at my place for free, but I don't know whether you have a friend in every town.
No, no, no. I have a friend in Minnesota, I think. I
Other than me, you mean?
Sorry.
Other than me?
Yes. Do you remember I connected you to this guy on Instagram?
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, but I just
Yeah.
wasn't sure he was still there. Okay.
So, so he's down there. I have a cousin who's in Phoenix, Arizona,
Okay.
but I don't think that's a place one would want to visit, right?
No, Phoenix is fine. I've never been there, but it's a big city, and every almost every city in America will be a little bit different in terms of what it looks like and feels like, and the population will be of Phoenix will be different than the population of Boston. So it'll give you a good sense of what the what the world might look like on our side of the ocean.
Maybe,
So
maybe even Texas because Will stays in Texas.
maybe will put you up in Texas.
Yeah, Will could host me for a day.
You would do that, wouldn't you, Will?
And do you
Okay.
see in the background? There's a Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. The summer is hot, 100 degrees, but I guess you're used to that. You're used to heat in India.
Oh, we are used to way worse than that.
You're way worse. So,
No, but
um,
what I'm trying to say is like if you see this in the background, so
yeah,
New York is also on the list. So this
yeah,
this will be covered.
yeah, you can see that.
Yeah. Nothing in Florida?
I haven't been there in decades, but I
Okay.
it's not a state I like. Uh, well, Will Hodge is happy to have you visit. He won't keep you, but he'll have you. He'll have you.
So is this the place where he lives? Podunk Acre?
That's a slang term
Oh,
for a a rundown farm kind of thing. So he's making a joke, but
come on. Come on, Will. I mean, you can't do inside jokes and then expect an Indian to, know the American humor like that.
no, I'm sure he would put you up very well. And I can't remember what town he lives in, but um,
Right.
uh, if you plan ahead and you must know people. Well, the people that are in my little chat room, but you must know people that are in the other YouTube places that you post and stuff. You must be able to find other American friends that could post you.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I have a few cities in mind because of having grown up watching a lot of Hollywood films and being fascinated with those cities. Like Seattle is one of them.
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
know how I don't know how viable it will be to visit Seattle on the way.
Well, Seattle's
But
way over here,
okay,
and I know a friend that lives in Seattle, but I've never been there. Um, uh, but again, I think uh, it all depends on what you want to do. If you wanted to look at art museums, then that would make a list very different than if you want to go to see a lot of music. And if you want to see live music, then you would go to different cities, perhaps.
not really a museum guy. Uh, Like I want to see, like, the interiors, the local places, and what makes
Okay.
it what
You
makes it an American city. So
what makes it special to that time? Yeah. So in that case, there are some cities that were all sort of built around the same time,
right.
and they may look alike. Um,
Okay.
St. Paul, Minneapolis, uh, um, St. Louis, they're all sort of settled at the same time. They all, they might look alike too much. But if you go to Boston, that has a very European look. If you go to
Okay.
New Orleans, that's very different. If you go to Pittsburgh, that's different because of the industry that was there. So, there's many reasons to visit various places. So, um, San Francisco is lovely. Uh, Los Angeles is less so. It's sprawled out really a lot. Um, but you also might like to go to small towns.
Yeah,
A,
that's
a small, and you could do that if you're driving. You just pick up, you land in between Chicago and Minneapolis. You end up right there, and you stay at that town, whatever town that is. Uh, Madison, Wisconsin. Um, so it'll
so.
all be
What about the states that we can absolutely omit? Like, that nobody, even in Americans, even America doesn't care about those states. Like, what would be
well.
that?
There are states.
North
There,
Dakota would be one of those.
no, I don't know if there's any states quite like that. There are big the states over here, the Arizona, New Mexico, up to the plain states up in North and South Dakota. They're very very rural, and some of them are very very flat. And the first hour of driving in North Dakota will look exactly like the next 6 hours that you're driving through. So I don't know whether I would pick states that are particularly too rural,
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying. So, if we were to reduce and narrow down the list, we could first look at the states which I should not be visiting. That way, the list will get smaller and smaller, right?
well, it depends though. If you want to go snow skiing, go to Colorado. If you want to go horseback riding, go to Idaho. There's all sorts of things that you might want to do, uh, that you can do in any state. You can get on a horse anywhere, but if
Yeah.
you if the idea is wanting to see mountains and big wide open country, you can pick one of these states.
Yeah, so Colorado was on my list anyway.
What was on your list to go to or to not go to?
To go to.
Okay. Well, Colorado is quite lovely. I've never been, but my brothers go there to ski, and I've got friends that live there. So, um, but uh, again, what you might do, Kesh, is buy a one-way ticket, and then start maybe in this area. Pick the East Coast,
Okay.
and if you want to then move west, you maybe go to Chicago and Minneapolis or down here, and then when you start getting antsy, feeling that you need to get back home, then you buy a ticket home.
No, no, I don't think I'll be feeling antsy because it's been on my bucket list for a long time to visit there.
Okay. Okay.
And it's just a matter of time now. So I thought, I should probably start sort of planning ahead of time and uh, figure out which cities to go, which cities not to go. And um, some of the cities are like absolutely out of fascination because of Hollywood. So like not the city, not the place Hollywood, but consuming Hollywood content for all these years. So like
Well, no,
Seattle.
you can certainly go to Hollywood. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it would be
No, no,
fun.
yeah. LA
But
is it's on my list. LA is also on my list.
yeah,
Um,
um, and
what about train? What if I took train throughout the country?
you don't have a lot of trains. I mean,
Okay.
you can take some trains, but there's like six in the entire country. You know, there's some that go up and down this way, and then there's one that goes this way,
Yeah, so this
and
one,
so
the one.
that'll be expensive, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. That'll be more expensive than a road trip.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I would bet. I mean, if you take a bus, it'll be cheaper, but if you rent a car, it might be that'll be more expensive, I would assume. Um, but
But a
this is
train might save a lot of time as well.
well, a train will go. Uh, the trains will go all day and all night long, but they don't stop in a lot of places. I don't think.
Okay.
Ms. Marilyn says no, no to something. No, take trains do save time. Uh,
Buses on
and
longer trips cannot be
well, that's
pleasant.
pleasant. So he's saying no, no on buses. I take the bus from Boston to Philadelphia for the Penn show, but that's it's during the day. I don't have to sleep. It's fine. If I were to go on a 20-hour bus trip,
Hmm.
I might find that uncomfortable.
So even the best of the buses are also uncomfortable, like the ones with the sleeper buses where you can sleep.
I don't know if they have sleeper buses. You can sleep maybe in your seat, but they don't have, you know, berths like that. Uh, it's a gross bathroom. Uh, I think you need to plan this out well, Kesh, and I think maybe start start in Boston and New York, and then maybe take a train to Chicago and see just
Mm.
how easy and how expensive that is. Once you're in Chicago, you could maybe take a bus to Minneapolis.
So I,
That might not be that bad. And
any particular reason why you put Chicago in there? Like it's worth going there.
well, it's an amazing city, and it's also central.
Amazing, amazing in what sense?
Well, it's a new city. Part of it, they had a big fire and it burned down, so they had to rebuild it. So they built it correctly, and so it's a huge airport, international airport at it. So there's it has a lot of stuff going on for it, um, and it's on the way. Uh,
What is the bean and the bull that?
Oh, the bean. It's a big sculpture that looks like a uh, a bean, a baked bean, but it's made of stainless steel and it's shiny. So people take pictures of it. But again, it depends on what you want. If you want to see more of every city, every big city is going to be cosmopolitan and international. People are going to be more alike in a big city, no matter what big city you're in. But if you go to a small town in Wisconsin or Illinois, or a small town all the way along here, you're gonna see uh, uh, people that are more individualized, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want to do a lot of touristy stuff per
Oh,
se.
okay.
I want to explore the small towns as well.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, you're not going to do that on a train or a bus because they don't stop.
right.
They go from big city to big city. Whereas if you take a small if you get to Chicago, let's say, and you want to take small regional buses or some sort of transport around there, that would be doable. But another thing you could do would be to the person you know in Minneapolis could drive you around for a couple of days and you could go to small areas around there.
Hmm.
The person you know in Colorado, if you know, or wherever it was, you could go on small trips there. But
There's a funny comment about you.
Pierre has no idea what he's talking about. Buses are everywhere. Yes, dear. They go in in California. They do. I tried to find a bus that went from Brainerd, Minnesota to Minneapolis. And do you think I could do that? No, I had to rent a car. Now they used to have buses. They don't really have the bus service these days isn't as good as it used to be.
So I was actually researching a few days ago about trains. So there's a train which goes from New York City to Seattle. So
Yeah.
what I thought was if it has stops in between, so I could probably stop somewhere in between and then look around the places in and around that area wherever it stops. So that way I can save the time by being on a train which covers
Yeah.
those
You
states.
you you can get off the train for an hour, maybe, before
No,
it
no,
goes again. So you'd have to
no.
get off and you'd have to buy a bunch of single one-way trips. They're
Yeah,
not gonna let you, just
yeah, yeah. I
catch tomorrow's bus. So
yeah. No, I didn't mean that I'll book a train. That I'll book the ticket from New York to Seattle and then keep roaming around at the stops. What I meant is like if there is train from New York to Seattle, which is I think every day, so I could probably start from New York in that train one day, and then
yeah,
if there is a stop in the middle somewhere, I could get down there, spend a day. So I could take the ticket only from New York City to that particular city, the first
yep,
stop,
yep.
roam around that for a day, and then take the next train next day, probably from that stop to the next one. So, for example, if there are, just for the sake of argument, if there are 5 stops like that, so I could cover those cities in 10 days in those 5 stops.
Okay, let me just cross country journey. Let's just see what they say here. Amtrak cross country. Okay. Just want to see what this vacation to. Okay, they don't have a freaking map. I want a map. Amtrak map.
Will has a good question.
He might be able to. Can you rent a can you rent a can you rent a car? Do you have a
I
driver's
can
license?
I can drive a car,
Do you have a driver's license?
yes, but that's applicable in India.
Well, you might be able to find out from your consulate whether you can get a um, whether you can get a like so here's your map. Here's
Right.
your route from New York or Boston, however you want to do it. You can go all the way there. So the first let's say you start at Boston.
Okay.
You could get off at Buffalo. Would you want to
Okay.
see Niagara Falls? That's right there.
Right.
Um, Beautiful land here, lots of mountains, and they're little towns. You could take the bus to Syracuse, go to Cleveland. You can get off there if you wanted to. Toledo, Chicago,
Cleveland is where Will said he lived, or is it?
Cleveland lives in a town in Texas called Cleveland.
Oh,
Cleveland Falls. But there's a lot of lovely little towns that you'll be going through. There's they won't necessarily stop at every single one of them.
right.
And maybe, like for example, right now, St. Cloud, I've never seen, well, it must be there. They have the route right there. So it must go there.
So, see, if I have to go from Boston to Minnesota, you could probably tag along.
I could probably tag along. But that's it's an expensive trip. I don't know what they cost individual routes, individual prices, but
We could check on Amtrak website probably.
you can try it, but I don't know. The thing is I tried to find out what it would cost for me to go from here to here to Philadelphia on Amtrak, and it wouldn't give me a schedule or a price list. I had to call on the phone, listen to a machine, tell them when I wanted to leave. They gave me an option, and then they said, "Do you want to buy the ticket? It's $300." And I was very annoyed because I couldn't. I'd like to see what the price is before or what my options are. So I don't know whether there's a way that you can easily find that out online.
There might be. Let's just do it right now, and why don't you put Google? And you've just exposed everybody that Gay Porn website that you have been watching.
Oh, everyone got to see that.
So you could now just go to Amtrak official website.
I'm doing that, dear. So if you want to come to see me first,
right,
and we can watch porn together, and then and then you would go from Boston. See, it's gonna. I think part of it might be too. I was looking on my computer, so my computer might be too old to understand this, but
when was it? When did you last check? When you couldn't?
It was a month ago.
Okay, let's see if your iPad is better than your computer.
Okay, why isn't it even fucking working?
You'll have to allow all first. Yeah.
Okay, Boston. And we want to go to, where do we want to go to? Your first stop would be, let's say.
No, first let's check Philadelphia, where you wanted to go, and see if it gives you an estimate.
Philadelphia. See, now it's going to ask what date I want to go on. This is what's so annoying. And then, so I'll just say that.
Okay.
Done. See, okay, I'm done. Find trains.
No, you have to put in a return date as well, right?
No, I'm making a one-way trip.
Okay, so the depart date is still not put in.
Okay, use points, add trip, one transfer.
Departure date. No, the departure.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Let's say it's going to be there. Done.
Done. Yeah.
Okay, let's just see. Okay. Well, it's not clicking. I hate this thing. I'll just go watch porn. That was easier.
That works flawlessly, isn't it?
I know how to do that. Find trains. I think you're going to have to do this yourself.
Okay.
Well, let me just do a departure date is going to be here, and done, and my done. Done.
That's odd.
February done. Returned. See, I don't know. It's not working. So I
Yeah,
don't know
there's.
why, and
Uh,
it's annoying. And so I had to call them on the phone, and the phone sucked. Google Maps doesn't tell me what it's going to cost.
let me check. Let's see if I.
See if you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just close your porn site that you were looking at.
Oh,
Cash.
I always watch in incognito, so
you, you always
yes,
watch.
yes. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Um, add to stage. We'll see. Find out. Um,
Do you see it?
I I don't know. Full screen layout. Here's your screen. Okay. You try to do it.
Okay. Let's go.
And
Boston.
and leave Boston and go to Chicago.
Which station in Boston? There are 3 stations.
South Station.
Okay. Philadelphia.
Well, go to Chicago.
Okay, not Philadelphia for you.
No, I don't need to go to Philly. I was just there.
Okay, let's go to Chicago.
It,
Let's put a departure date for tomorrow.
it's going to be expensive. I mean, it'll give
Okay.
you a very high cost. So just pick next month sometime.
You know what? I'll pick way into the future.
Okay.
I'll pick your birthday is what, 2nd July or 4th July?
June 30.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I'll pick your birthday then.
June 30. Okay. You leave
And
Boston.
we'll find trains. Here we go.
Oh, okay. You found it. So what does 792 say? What do you get for that? You better
Private
get
room.
better get a blowjob along with that.
Well, if you will be traveling with me,
If I'll be traveling with you, I can give you the blowjob. Can I?
well, you'll be showing me porn first in Boston, so you gotta enact that as well, right?
Okay. So 175 is one way. That's what are the two prices there?
So the one which is the upper one is fastest,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Something like that. So if it's 175, do you consider it expensive or is it cheap?
And where's that going? To Philadelphia?
No, this is to Chicago.
That's pretty good, I think, for Chicago for one way.
Okay, but that's also a 22-hour trip.
Yeah, that's a 22-hour trip.
That's a long trip.
It's a long trip, and you're going to make lots of stops on the way. So
Really?
again, I mean, it stops to add more people and to let people off. It's not. There's a lot of
No,
cities in between.
look at here. It doesn't say there's any stop.
Does it say nonstop? I can't believe that they would have a nonstop that goes halfway across the country.
I mean, I just clicked on route and it just has this. So if there were any stops, they would mention it here.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Well, that again seems very, very odd that it would be nonstop. Pick a
Because
different train.
here it also says it's a direct train, so maybe it's a non-stop one. Let's check a train to Seattle and see how many stops that has.
Okay. Ms. Marilyn is saying the only way you can get a nonstop is with a flight. And again, the train will make a stop. It stops at stations where you can get out, stretch your legs, you can get some food. They probably have a half an hour stop every 6 hours on the bus. I'm sure they don't just keep you trapped on the bus.
Okay, this one is from Boston to Seattle.
Okay, so with the blowjob, it's $2,300.
No, in 23 we get full blown sex.
Full blown sex. Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, look at here. These are the stops.
Okay. See, lots of stuff. So what is it between Boston and Chicago? There's probably 3 stops.
No, the Boston and Chicago one is a direct train. There's no stop.
But what does this one say? Between Boston,
Oh,
what's the next stop?
okay, got it. Wait a second. Oh, so it's actually it's not a direct train. This one.
No.
It first halts at Chicago and then you have to change the train.
Yeah.
Okay, so there.
I forgot that this is a train. I was thinking of a bus, but even a
Oh,
train. So the train could have been, might be a nonstop, though I still find that hard to believe. And what they do here, Kesh, is they change all sorts of things between now and the day you're booking this, because they might see that there's only 3 people that want to take the train from Boston to Chicago nonstop, so they'll turn it into they'll put you on the different train rather than, no
okay.
matter how many blowjobs you're going to get for the price. So
Oh man, they gotta value blowjobs more.
they do.
So this one is New York to Seattle,
Yeah.
and so this is the fastest, which is a 70-hour trip.
70.
Yes.
70. So that's 3.5 days, right? 12,
Yeah.
24 hour, something like that, 3 days. And
But the coach is from 420, so I'm just trying to calculate in Indian rupees. That's roughly around 35 35,000 Indian rupees, which is not that bad actually.
well, the prices don't seem that bad either. For
But it's a coach, so could you sleep in a coach?
you can fall asleep on a chair. Yeah. I mean,
But
if you're
70 hours on a chair is too much, right?
well, otherwise you're going to pay 5 million rupees for the
No.
blowjob rate.
$2,000 is not 5 million. It's around. Uh, it's so difficult to calculate these things.
That's okay.
But
Don't worry about it.
but the thing is, it's either a coach or a private room. Nothing in between. That's
No,
that's
and again, if you're tired enough, if they're not going to let you out and walk around, it'll be boring after a while.
yeah.
The
That's
so
a lot of disparity. Like it starts at 420, but then the next best thing is over $2,000. So nothing in between, which is weird.
yeah, you can always get up and walk around the train. You can go to the club car and get a beer. You can get a sandwich. You can walk back and forth. It's not like you're trapped in a airplane.
Okay, see, so this one I scroll down. There is something called business as well, which is a
Yeah.
little expensive than coach. So I'm assuming the business one will have the facility to sleep.
No, they might have a bigger chair.
Oh,
I don't know I don't really know what they would do.
I mean, anybody in the comment section could tell us if they have travel business. Would that include like a sleeping berth or something?
I mean, certainly you can find that out by. Do you have anything? We back in the days before desktop computers, we used to have travel agents, and we would go to a travel agent and we would ask them to, to pick the hotel and to pick the airplane. And is there a travel agent you can find in India that can help you with these decisions?
They can. I mean,
I know they'll charge money for it
yes.
if you take the trip from them, but if you're just asking them, I want to know the options. What is this like? What is that like? Make it sound like you're going to pay them, because they may know the answers.
Or I could ask my
You can ask
cousin down in Phoenix, you know,
your
because
cousin might know the answer. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know the answer.
because she has been traveling to and from India for the last couple of years, so
Okay.
she would know how these things work. Although she has a job there at I think HP or HCL, something like that. So I think her company pays for the trips.
Yeah. My iPad is at 5%, so I'm going to have to stop before it crashes.
Okay.
So because we're talking about blowjobs, I'll probably not have this. I'll try. Well, we'll just leave it up.
Yeah, you clean it up because for future reference, whenever
you might get lucky. You might find someone that wants to drive you around the country.
because also whenever I'm taking the trip, I'll have this video to go back to for reference. The map you drew and the cities we shortlisted. Right?
Good. Anyway, I'm going to end it now because I'm at 4% and I have to stop. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. See you.